This storage system holds 4,534,272 stackable items, and I'm going to show you how I made it. First things first is the location. In a previous video, I built this enchantment room underneath my base, so I thought this would be perfect for my storage system too. As this project holds a ton of items, that means I need a lot of space for all the redstone and chests that go into it, and I mean a lot of space. As I got a bit deeper into the clearing out, the river above started to cave in, so I headed over to a temple and grabbed as much sponge as I could. After clearing all the water out that was in the way, I got a rough idea of what height and width I needed for the whole build, and as much as I would love you guys to suffer with me clearing this out, I'm feeling nice today, so with a bit of editing magic, 3 hours turns into 3 seconds. Now that we have all of the space we need for the build, it's time to get our schematic up and see what materials we're going to need. Ignoring the dirt at the top, that shouldn't be on this list, but as you can see, we mainly need a lot of hoppers, which means a lot of chests. However, I decided to start on the path that goes down the middle, as it was only out of blackstone slabs, and with this I can really see how big the build is going to be, and it definitely didn't make me sad at all. If you haven't already watched it, in my last episode I spent 100 days building automatic farms, and one of these farms was a really good wood farm, which between recording I used for quite some time to start on these chests and hoppers, so it didn't hurt me too much doing them all at once. One of the other blocks that I needed for the decorations was sea lanterns, so I thought I may as well build a guardian farm for that. And I'm not going to bore you with the whole build, as my last video was purely automatic farms, but I must say, this farm is insane. The resource rates and the XP rates are so good, I highly recommend, and I will leave the link in the description. But as we fly down to the killing chamber, you can see how many are already in there, and that's within 30 seconds, and the amount of loot you get is insane. The next thing that I actually wanted to do was double check the schematic is all good and that it fits nicely in the hole that I've made, otherwise I'll have to dig some more. So after a bit of mucking around, I felt like it was in the perfect position, and as I run down the tunnel you can see what the layout is going to be like, and you can see all the different types of blocks in the frames or already placed. After I was happy with how it looked, I grabbed a handful of chests and got to work placing. I'm going to speed run all of this, mainly because I just want to show that I do actually do all of these things legit, as I know I can do some quite big jump cuts in some of these clips, so I don't want anyone getting the wrong impressions. But this part was very simple and easy thanks for the schematic. It was just a bit boring. Now that we had the main chests and hoppers in, it was time for the repeaters, comparators and redstone, and the main component of all of these is redstone. So we got on our infinite trading system and got to work. With a good amount of redstone, we headed to the Nether to do a quartz run, and I'm only going to show you this once, but I had to do many trips for both the redstone and the quartz. But now that we finally had all the materials for the next phase, it was time to get building. We started off by placing the 2 rows of stone all the way round. Then it was time for the redstone torches on the inside block. Then the repeaters all the way down the middle. Then on top was the comparators. And finally the rest of the redstone. And that was the auto sorter finished. Then all I needed to do was run the last few rows of hoppers around and the main part of the build was completed. Also, that's what I thought. As I went back through the build, I noticed that I built this one side wrong. As you can see, the hopper line was directly below the redstone torches, which wouldn't allow the blocks to pass through, so unfortunately I had to spend another hour ripping it down and rebuilding it all. So as we go through this, obviously it was time to start setting out for what we was going to do. So I'm just testing out things here of how I'm going to do it, which I will explain to you at the end of the video of how it actually does work with the filter things and the main blocks. But yeah, as you can see, we're just going through the blocks now. We've obviously got wood, we got stone, we got so many blocks in this game, and I was using bamboo for my filter items, which I just thought was rather easy to get. But yeah, I'm not going to bore you with every single block in the game because this took me the most amount of time. This took me a stupid amount of time to get every single block. And obviously a stack of blocks was, 41 blocks was easier for me to filter and put into the system. But obviously some blocks like diamond blocks, never right, blah, blah, blah. That was hard to get a lot of. But as I was doing this, I got bored, so I decided to set up beacons in each corner of this system, just so I have all the effects at all times. But as we get back onto this, as you can see, look, with big stackable items, I have 1 bamboo, and then with less items, I will use 44 bamboo altogether. So yeah, as we're building here, this is the shulker box unloader that I'm building, which obviously you don't want to have to manually place down your shulker box and take everything out. So this is what I'm building here, which I will show you how it works towards the end of the video. And finally, after a stupid amount of time collecting and filtering near enough every single item in the game, the system was finally done. And I am so relieved that it is finally finished. The only thing left to do now is to test it. In this system, the last item on the run is bone meal. So when I place bone meal into this chest, if it makes it all the way around, then that is a success. And if not, I will break my PC. For some reason, the water stream wasn't working, so I had to go up and extend it by 1 block so it had a better flow. Then after that I forgot to put the glass back on top, so they started to spit out. Then after waiting for a good bit of time, nothing had come through, and I was getting very worried. Then I noticed I missed a hopper on the other side. And finally, with sorting all these issues out, we checked the chest, and it had actually worked. Considering I built this all myself in Creative World, I honestly was not expecting that. Even though it did take me around 35 hours to complete, it was a very simple and easy build to do. Now what we can do is put a shulker box in this chest and check out the unloader, which seems to be working pretty well. And then at this point, it had hit me that I had so many chests dotted around my world with so many resources, and it's going to take forever to sort it all out. But as you can see, as I fly up outside, yes, I know I have a lot of terraforming to do, and no, I am not doing it today. I'm done today. But as we fly down into the build, you can also see that all along this build there is a lot of blocks missing on the decorations and in the item frames, and that's because, as you can see here, it's going to take me such a long time going through each individual one, but I will do it, just not at the moment. But honestly, I'm so proud of how this has turned out, and it is going to be a huge help for all the big future projects I have in mind. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, as it helps me out massively, and also comment what projects you want me to see next. So please help make that happen, I would really appreciate it, and yeah, see you in the next one.